Microphone check, 1, 2. What is this? This is B. Michael here with Shifting Paradigms Business, and we are live on KUAW.org.
Check,
Knowledge,
1, 2. What is this? This is B. Michael here with Shifting Paradigms Business, and we are
Technology
live
Awareness Association. We got Baba G on the soundboard, always holding it up and keeping it down. Big shout out to him for always doing what he does. We do got a special guest today. We'll get in that shortly. But of course, Shifting Paradigms, we're all about stimulating critical thought, for the purpose of redefining our reality and retelling our narrative, for positive matters, through dialogue with self-determination. So this is what Shifting Paradigms is all about, creating a platform for individuals, but also presenting some novel ideas, and some very good ideological principles and perspectives that may not be mainstream, and today I definitely want to give a shout out to our guest today, a brother that I know going back to the late 90s, man, going back to the Mardi Gras when we was doing our open mic.
Hip-hop open mic days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I know him from the Heat Mob, Kansas City's own hip-hop group. And let me specify and say hip-hop group. This was not a rap group. This was a pure culturally centered hip-hop group. I knew him at the time as Block, when he was doing what he was doing on the microphone, blazing it, you know what I mean? But now, you've definitely gone through some evolutions. Daryl McDonald, man, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today.
Right, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. Much love.
Yes,
I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, no question. And I'm excited to have you on here. I've been running into you, in the city on some, I won't say humbugs, I said on some appointments, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everything lines up.
Yeah,
we line up and make it all come to pass. And so, today we're going to be talking about divine wellness paradigmatics. And, let's just let our listeners know who you are, some of your background, what you've come from in terms of, some of your professionalism and things like that. Then we'll get into what really all about and everything, your hobbies, interests, what have you,
Okay. Well, Daryl McDonald, born and raised right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I went to Central, regular kid, so grew up, in the neighborhood. So that's just about it. Then I, right after high school, I did go down to Tennessee State, Nashville, down there. And that's where everything changed at. I was 18. I remember I was so young, I had to call the school. I had them to show me how to get to the school. But the first year, regular schooling, having fun, trying to get the grade, ran into some good Chicago brothers that were smart and intelligent. And, we did things, regular kid stuff. And that second semester, I didn't get in school, but I stayed down there in Nashville, Tennessee. And with the group of brothers, some of us that was had made a pact together, we had got a little house right off of campus, a little roommate thing. So it was like 4 or 5 of us and stuff. And then that's when all the Black Power things starting to come, the 5% stuff starting to come, the frat stuff was starting to come, and the Hebrew Israelites was there. It was a whole, you would think Nashville is the country town, but it was actually a lot of culture in Nashville. And being that it was a Black school there, it was a lot of knowledge from different places coming there. And so that was going on. And in between all that, it was a guy named Big Ron, and he was known around the school. He was real popular, he was an upperclassman guy. And he never did join none of the organizations, none of the frats and none of the 5%, none of the Hebrew Israelites. He didn't join anything. So I stepped to him one day. I was like, yo, Ron, why come you won't join none of the organizations? You're not, he was like, oh, D, I didn't already, did all that one time. I just study history. I'm a history major. So I just like history and I do yoga. And I was like, yoga, what is that? And he was like, well, kind of told me what yoga was, meditating and stretching your body and things like that. And I was like, oh, cool. I was curious. I would like to learn that, because I was an athlete. I played basketball, football, all the little sports and stuff like that. So I was, out of high school then. I still wanted to try to keep it up. So I was like, yeah, that'd be something, to keep up. So go ahead and teach me. He was like, yeah, you know, yoga is something once you start, it's something that you never stop. So make sure that this is something that you want to do. I was like, okay. He was like, call me in the morning and I'll come down there to the house and I'll teach y'all yoga, you know. So sure enough, I got up that next morning. This the time where payphones were still, you know, so it was,
Right.
still 98, 99, believe it or not. So I went to the payphone next to the school and I called him, yo, Big Ron, you know, you said you're gonna come down. He's like, I'm on my way. So that was the start of the end. And he came down, he taught all of us. It was about 4 of us in there, and there was a sister in there too. It was always a queen in there. It was actually the sister who had got the place and she needed roommates, you know, and it was 4 of us. She like, yeah, I like you 4 brothers. Y'all 4 come be my roommate. Y'all can protect me. So it was this one sister in there and there's 4 brothers. And like a couple of us was still in school. A couple of us like me was waiting till the next semester so we can get in school. So during that time, I was learning the yoga from the guy Ryan coming down, and he also had did Tai Chi too. So actually, I had learned the yoga and the Tai Chi at the same time because that's what he knew. And it was a weird thing to happen because when he was teaching the yoga and the Tai Chi, he was only doing his yoga now. He was like, you know, I don't do my Tai Chi too much no more. I'm mainly, you know I'm saying, my yoga where it's at. And I was like, you tripping. Tai Chi is where it's at. You do that, you know, you talk about yoga, you know. So
Yeah.
I had, you know, actually loved Tai Chi more than I love yoga, but I still did them both because that's how they was taught.
Yeah.
Years passed, you know, years passed, you know. I turn around and I look around and I noticed that I haven't been doing my Tai Chi as much no more. I had only been doing my yoga and you know stuff like that. And you know, I was just doing my yoga in my room. I always had a yoga room everywhere I lived at. It was my out, you know. It got me out the neighborhood. It got my mind out the neighborhood. You know, it changed my paradigm. Started changing the chemistry on how I think. Started changing the chemistry on how I eat. Because at that time, Big Ron was he was a vegetarian. At the time, vegan wasn't, you know, things didn't change so much, but at the time it was just vegetarian, so he wasn't eating no meat. I was still going to the student center getting Burger King burgers and stuff, you know. And he was like, nah, D, I don't eat none of that. And I was like, you don't eat none of that, why not? And he was like, you know, eating meat helps clear up your skin, and not eating meat helps clear up your skin and helps you think more clear. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, you might go ahead and try that. And he was like, well, naturally, when the deeper you start going off into your yoga practice, the more you would just start getting away from eating meat and stuff because you want your body to be clean. So from that point in, I started my journey to stop eating meat. I was already not eating pork. That was a high school thing because I had an older cousin, Big Sid, that was always conscious and knowledgeable and about stuff and moving around. So he kind of, you know, that was just a thing. So we wasn't no pig after high school. That was just not because of not being a Muslim or nothing that. It was just he found out that just wasn't good food to eat. So I was just beef and, you know, and chicken and turkey, and I let things go little by little. You know, time went on. I was like, I'm not gonna eat no more beef no more. Time went on. I was like, you know, I'm done with the chicken, and time went on and I was done with the turkey, and I was going back and forth with the chicken until one day all the brothers, we was in the dorm room or in the house and stuff, and we was cooking up that chicken and stuff, and we was getting ready to grub, and they told me, and they said, Daryl, go in there and check the chicken, see if it's done. And I went in there and I opened up that oven and I seen nothing but blood and grease. And it just blew me out because it wasn't done. And I had, at that time, still young. So only my aunties and moms and stuff been cooking for me. So I never seen uncooked
The blood and the grease.
The blood and the grease or whatever color it out it was. So you know, at 18, 19, I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, I'm done eating that today. And I quit cold turkey, you know what I'm saying, with the chicken.
Pun intended.
Right. And then for a while, I was just only eating fish, you know, and I did that for a year or two. Then eventually the fish let go. And before I knew it, I was vegetarian for 13 years, you know, no meat, you know, no dairy products. I did still eat cheese in the form of regular cheese, or I was eating cheese pizza because I didn't know at the time, you know, I was didn't know too much about it. I just only knew not eating meat was supposed to be the way to go.
Right.
So, but I did that thing, and that was a journey itself. I was, early when it's Whole Foods now, but I was going when it was Wild Oats,
That's
it was
what it
wild,
was.
yeah, it was Wild Oats down there on Main, and I go down there and
43rd.
yeah, and before they had even before they had these Boca burgers and the Morningstar burgers, they had this powder stuff that I would go and get. They were selling in bulk, and you would get it and you would make that out of a veggie burger. You would boil it and put it in there, you know what I'm saying? My sisters and
Make
them,
your
I
own
was used to
patties.
like, yeah, you make your own patties and stuff. So I was doing it like that, for
My.
for years. So
So going even back to like, when we was down at the Mardi Gras, you was already all up on that culturally and everything and just, practicing that lifestyle?
I was already practicing that lifestyle. Actually, if I wasn't practicing that lifestyle, you would have seen me a whole lot more at the Mardi Gras because it was a lot of nights I didn't get to make it because I had to get up early to do my yoga and Tai Chi because I was an early riser. I was taught that, your Tai Chi and your yoga meditation should be done early in the morning between 2 and 5. That's when your pineal gland and your melanin is at its highest peak. So I was up, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, from the time that I started because I was, going off with the guy that taught me. And so, yeah, a lot of nights I didn't get to make it. A lot of nights I sacrificed going to have fun. So, yeah, I was practicing the lifestyle then. I was get out. I was at my peak actually at that time.
Were there any brothers in the group you were building with on that? Any of those sciences you were dealing with?
Yeah, they were.
You dealing with your Ojari? I mean, were y'all building too?
Yeah, we were just building on regular knowledge stuff and stuff like that. But see, the yoga thing was really kind of taboo. Why the brothers didn't really know. Only like my inside brothers, even inside the mob, you know what I'm saying, knew that I did yoga and Tai Chi and stuff because even in the regular conscious community, that was kind of taboo thing at the time. So I was, self-conscious about telling dudes, especially men, that I did yoga and did Tai Chi because it was a soft art, So people didn't know, I'm saying, only the inside brothers knew. You know what I'm saying? And I was teaching them and some of them took it on and stuff. Taha, you know what I'm saying, mainly was one of the main ones that took on the yoga and had his own regimen, was doing his own thing on his own.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out to Taha. No doubt, Buddha Palms, all the crew.
Yeah,
That's righteous, man.
Yeah, that's the family.
So talk about like your transition, like and how it impacted you. Talk about, coming from Central, Kansas City, probably more of just, a regular consciousness to now coming into more of an awakening and then implementing Tai Chi and yoga. How do you find, or did you find that it impacted you and your consciousness? Like what are some of the measurable things that you could say took place in your life?
Sure, man, good to say it because actually I was seeing that even the conscious community itself with this knowledge and understanding was on a Groundhog Day loop. We were still getting the same information, even the new information with the same information, and it was just being regurgitated. And I was still always searching and always looking, trying to find the origin of whatever it was that I was into. So, I was always, academic and trying to find stuff, what I'm saying, to what it was. And actually, I decided to go to school and actually I was working at this place, a part-time job on a weekend. And I went to the library one day and I seen this human biology book. And within this human biology book, it damn near looked just like my yoga book that I had always had learned from. Because in the back of the yoga book, the Light on Yoga book, if you go to the very back of that, it has a list of all these diseases and deformities and stuff that can be cured through yoga. Not saying that it's going to be, you can go and get this position right away, but over time, if you have a certain disease or certain deformities, it will be cured by getting through these movements and postures or getting in these certain postures. So I knew it was a scientific human biology basis behind to this thing that they call yoga. So when I had seen that, and the school I was going to was a not going to, but the school I was working at was a chiropractic school. You know, chiropractors are big on the health, and they're big on the health of the spine. The first thing that the guy that taught me yoga was that ancient yogis focused on the spine. It was all about the health of the spine. It was all they got up and they, focused on their spine before they even brushed their teeth. He said that's how important they looked at the spine. So all those connections started to come. So, I was like, let me take this out and try to learn, I'm saying, it's human biology, which I had no background, coming from in the city, no disrespect to the centrals and all that stuff, but we had sports biology as our class, we didn't have no real biology class. So, I dove in to see, and then it opened up and broadened, my horizons to, the clinical aspect of this thing they were talking about, meditation and yoga. It was actually a clinical aspect to it that went along with it.
And
So,
that transforms you, huh?
Yeah, that transformed me. And that's the example that I was talking about, being on that on that loop of the conscious community of the same thing, no disrespect to anybody, but astrology, the tarot cards, the stones, the gems, you know what I'm saying, going into religion and all that stuff. When you go into science, you know what I'm saying, all that gets thrown out the door. You're dealing with, you're dealing with physics, you're doing experiments, I'm in chemistry classes, doing real life experiments, using real life chemicals, and things change when you start looking at stuff from a biology and science perspective.
Right. So with you, like what physical changes, even excuse me, mental changes did you see take place with you? Like what were there things that you had remedied, maybe that you had conditions of before that you find now through yoga that you've, alleviated? Any mental blockages that you may have had, that you find yourself being able to, like, remedy as well through practicing yoga?
Practicing yoga, being mentally weak and unfocused and not able to stay concentrating on one certain task. Yoga, changed that to being able to think clear and being able to be patient and being able to be focused and be able to kind of, step back and not accept things and see things emotionally. When you see things emotionally, you make bad decisions. So that changed. And body wise, I've been an Energizer bunny. I don't know how long. Only my friends know me. You know what I'm saying? I work day up, day night, do yoga all day, day night. You know what I'm saying? I re-energize. You know what I'm saying? That's one main thing that I changed. And man, ain't all been good. I didn't had a bunch of downs. This thing yoga is a journey. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have some journeys. I didn't did wrong poses and hurt myself. You know what I'm saying? And had to think about what I did. And then I had to repair myself also too. So that's what I know about yoga, that you make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, trying to do things, because I was trying to get into every pose I seen in the Light on Yoga book.
Right. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, and the guy that taught me, he had gave a list of poses, but before I left him, he had took my book and he was like, this is stuff, you know what I'm saying, you can look forward to. I want you to advance to. So I also had something to look to. So, and when I got to those poses, I just, went on. And a lot of them are really just variations of the same pose, just really variations. But
that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. So we had talked before the show started, and I find this to be very interesting. Let's talk about the history of yoga, right? A lot of people have the understanding that this is an Indian culture, Eastern Indian cultural practice. What has your research yielded in terms of coming up with the history and even the roots and the origins of yoga? And how did it get to where it is now?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, because that got layers to it too. Because as I learned more and went into Kemetic yoga, I also had acquired another teacher that I learned a lot more history and stuff from, and that's where I picked up from the Indus Kush area, you know, because when you go back into India, you know, the word yoga, you know, is early, you know, before then, you know, you got the Swamis, you got the Vishnus, you know, you got the people called the Sadhus. And, you know, yoga during the time had really had India was invaded by the British, you know, and when the British came in, there was a lot of fights and battles between, you know, the original Indians and the ones that we know today. And those original Indians was these people called the Dravidians. And these Dravidians was these people that was teaching martial arts, yoga, Tai Chi, and stuff to these schools or these academies in India. So these people that we know of swamis and yogis was going to these schools. There was like 7 certain schools that you would go to that you would learn different steps and different arts. And in these schools is being taught by these people called the Dravidians. And when you look up who the Dravidians is, they are dark-skinned people that look like me and you know, some of them look like they from Alabama. And these are the people that trace their history back to Kemet and the Indus Kush society and so forth. And when I speak about other people that tell me stuff, I try to say because they're credible when they actually been over there themselves. Because I haven't actually been to Egypt, but you know, the teacher that taught me Kemetic yoga has been over 20 times. And he said, when you go over, you see the lotus pose, you see the headstand, you see the back bend, you see them practicing Tai Chi, you see them practicing the arts, all that stuff is all on the temples, wrestling, boxing, all that stuff is there, you know. And it was being taught in the schools and in the temples and you know the akus or the mers, what they call the pyramids. Those stuff was, you know what I'm saying, that them things was being taught.
That's powerful. That's
So
powerful.
and you know, and then the and yoga as it derived, you know what I'm saying, it started getting separated. You know, they started separating the meditation from the movements and postures and stuff like that. And then they started making it an exercise, you know what I'm saying, type of yoga. You know, and that was what I had always seen. Cause like I said, when I first started yoga, it wasn't what it was today. It was, you know what I'm saying, taboo, so taboo that I didn't tell people, wouldn't mention people about it. So as this began to get popular, I noticed that not only was they leaving the meditation part out of it, they were leaving the culture of the Indian culture out of it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't Buddhist, they wasn't Hinduist, you know, he wasn't practicing that. So I've seen that they are separating, you know, the physical parts from the mental parts. And for us, African spirituality, everything was one, everything was together. You know, we believed in harmony.
Right. That's deep. And so even with that, you know, you talk about Kemetic yoga. I know there's like tantric yoga. There's some other forms of yoga as well that are practiced. I know they got like the steam room yoga and things of that nature. What differentiates Kemetic yoga from the other forms of yoga?
But the other forms of yoga, most of them are just derivatives of just subs of this one main yoga. You know what I'm saying? If you look up the yoga history or yoga, see what I had practiced was hatha yoga. You know, hear too much about hatha yoga. That was original form and that had coupled the mental and the physical, high in the sun, thigh in the moon, the balance and the harmony of the two opposites, you know what I'm saying, bringing together the mental and the physical, you know, and so forth. So then, you know what I'm saying, you got this BKS Iyengar, you know what I'm saying, what they call Iyengar yoga, who took his yoga from the practice of Hatha yoga. Right. So, and then you got this vinyasa, or first you got Ashtanga yoga. So when I had came out into this yoga world, you know, I had noticed that I didn't see too much hatha yoga, you know what I'm saying, at all, you know, but then there's a lot of this Ashtanga and vinyasa, you know what I'm saying, yoga, which was derived out of the hatha yoga also, but it separated the meditation parts of it and they don't deal with the physical and the stretching and all that stuff. And it was meant to be exercise yoga, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that yoga wasn't never meant to be, you know what I'm saying? But as people in yoga started to evolve, they started to they self noticed that it was other parts of yoga. So what they did was subbed it out and, you know, relaxation yoga, meditation yoga, steam room yoga, hot yoga, which you just, you know what I'm saying, got the room hot, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But the you know, it's only certain ancient or so-called origin styles of yoga that come, you know, you got the Kundalini yoga, and all these, right, and all these was derived out of a man, of a person who, you know what I'm saying, found something within that yoga that self, or found that part that other people wasn't using and took it upon. Because, you know, you got the Kundalini yoga, but for instance, in the Hatha yoga, you know, it's, you go through stages. Yoga, you know, you go through stages. And when you go through those stages, Kundalini yoga was like at the 7th stage. And I remember reading my yoga book, to reach Kundalini yoga, you was like, you got to be a yoga practitioner for like 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying, to reach new stages. So when it came out, when I came into this yoga world, all that stuff was new to me. I was like, Kundalini yoga. I was like, how are they automatically just straight up Kundalini yoga? And I was tripping. I was like, let me go back to my book. And was like, I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's like the 7th stage. And I remember saying that, but 20 years later, you know, I understand, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you go through, I didn't stop, you know what I'm saying? Yoga, I got mad at my yoga, getting personal, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's
All
a
that.
journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey.
Powerful that you say that. So it's interesting. You talked about the science of it. You know, the history is crucial, and it does all derive from what you were saying earlier from the African continent, and it spread from there. Correct.
Correct.
And so with
Yeah,
that,
you can see, just
go ahead.
like you can just check the dates, you know what I'm saying? Things in ancient Egypt is way much older than things in India, way much older. And you can see them sitting in the lotus pose, what we call the sesh pose, which is been scribed, and seeing them sitting in, you know what I'm saying, doing poses and before there. And that's the unique part about Kemetic yoga, because Kemetic yoga, the founders of Kemetic yoga, God Dr. Azar Happy and Master Yasir Rahotep, they're the ones who did the research and found Kemetic yoga and put together the fact that the poses and some of the positions that we see the natural rules or the ancient Kemetics in were yoga poses. You know, if you understand the philosophy of yoga and you understand human biology and the science of the body, which the guy Dr. Azar Happy was he studied neuropathy, you know, saying that's something that you people be more familiar with a chiropractor. So he knew about the human body. So they was able to see. And Master Yasir Rautebi is like a master's degree in at the University of Chicago. He's been a social worker. So we talking about people that were smart people outside of yoga, you know what I'm saying, that was able to put this together, you know what I'm saying, and coordinate and bring the fact that the Indus Kush society, you know what I'm saying, goes back, and these Darvidians and these people you know, that they called the Martial Arts Academy, you know what I'm saying, which was the schools that they went to learn these lessons, was taught by these people called the Darvidians. And this is not even no secret. You can look this up, you know what I'm saying? If you do the history, it's right there. It's like, it ain't even no secret.
The untouchables. That's what they call them, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And so you touched on it, you know, the science of yoga, you know, and I think that's a powerful principle. And even with me, you know, my spirituality, I've leaned more towards a scientific approach to it, in the sense that, you know, there's substantial evidence that should be yielded and considered going into the understanding of what it is you're practicing. You don't want to just have superstitious blind faith or, you know, unfounded beliefs, right? Unfounded principles in what you're practicing. And so with the science of yoga and the way that it impacts the body, what would you say is the outcome of all this? Like, what is the ultimate result that yoga should yield? Someone who's a practitioner of yoga, what should it result in for the practitioner?
We just keep it very simple: sound mind, sound body. Making
Yeah.
one harmony with yourself, with your thoughts, with your
Uh-huh.
breath, with your energy, and
Okay.
everything else, you know what I'm saying, it come, you know, it allows you to be more aware of your own intuition, your own subconscious thought.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, that little shoulder, you know what I'm saying, that you run away from, you start running away from it. That with a
Mm-hmm.
little, that right and left, you know what I'm saying, battle fighting,
Yeah.
you start fighting with them and you start
Wow.
defeating them. And you
Wow.
start, you know what I'm saying, being on one accord.
That oneness is everything. That oneness is truly everything. And that translates into your connection with society and with nature and creation itself.
Hmm.
So, and creator. So that's
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
That's powerful.
And you know, this like you saying the science about yoga, you know, it gets really deep because you know I was when I said I was trying to search this thing. So you know, as I was, you know, while I was in school, every paper I had to do do it on something about yoga. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can go deeper. So the last paper that I had to do, you know what I'm saying, to graduate was had to be a scientifically based paper. So it had to be peer reviewed. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang, I
Wow.
ain't gonna be able to do, you know what I'm saying? No
Yeah.
yoga now. It's gonna be out the door. Little did I know, I went and did them peer reviewed research of yoga, and they've got 5-year trials, 10-year trials, 20-year trials, 25-year controlled, uncontrolled trials that they didn't deal with people doing yoga, placebos, and the whole
Mm-hmm.
line of the benefits of yoga, you know,
That's
so
powerful.
they know. And when I mean
It's documented.
taking 10, 20 people and putting them in a community for 5 years, 10 years and
Uh-huh.
seeing the effect, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all the way down to that, having them eat certain diet, having them do certain styles of yoga too. And that was
Mm-hmm.
the biggest point through that whole scientific peer reviewed yoga
Mm.
paper. It wasn't any Ashtanga or vinyasa or any hot yoga. Them wasn't done in the trials. It was hatha yoga and the yoga called Shadur Harshan Kira, sky
Mm-hmm.
meditation technique. Those was the only two yoga styles. And Iyengar yoga, which you know that's basically hatha yoga, was the only three that they did the scientific, you know what I'm saying, basis on. And
Mm-hmm.
they did it as a whole, and you know, and they got results. And um yeah, you know, I got the research and the proof just to show it. I was
Right.
amazed myself, look, you know, because I didn't know, and I had dove in. I was like, they you know, seeing that yoga lowers your cortisol levels. You know what I'm saying? They putting, you know what I'm
Stress.
saying, the stress on there. They seeing that it lowers your blood pressure. They seeing that it
Mm-hmm.
takes away anxiety. You know what I'm saying? They seeing that the leading cause of death with people was heart attack and stroke, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
obesity. You know what I'm saying? That was a leading cause of it. It was it was just so ironic. In 2019, in school, everything was saying how America was obese and dying of strokes and heart attacks from high blood pressure and stress. And then 2020, we already know what kicks in, and everybody's
Right.
scared to death of their lungs and their respiratory system, which connects to your stress response, which makes you have high
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure, what makes you have anxiety, makes you have heart attacks and
All connected.
strokes. Yeah,
Right.
all connected.
Golly, and that goes back to the oneness. So you practice this, it just gives you a holistic approach to life, right?
Yep, yep.
That's
Holistic
powerful.
approach to life. You
So
know,
breath and meditation, can you kind of maybe just connect those two a little for us? Like what have you found to be, effective with you in terms of that? But then what is yoga teaching us about breath and meditation? I
breath.
think a lot of people don't even know how to breathe right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, they don't. A lot of people don't know how to breathe. Why was we taught to breathe with our chest? You know what I'm saying, the upper chest. You know, and that activates the stress response, activates your anxiety. You know what I'm saying, makes your blood pressure stay high. So you know, you want to breathe with your lower gut, your lower belly. You know what I'm saying. Your breath is your life. You know, you have to control your breath in order to be able to meditate. You know, that's a lot of reason why people will be like, oh, I can't meditate. My thoughts is running. I'm thinking about all kind of stuff. you need to focus on your breath, because your breath is where it's at.
Yes, powerful. Yes, that's key. That's everything, and that's what unlocks the whole consciousness.
That's
That's
also,
what activates your central nervous system. You know where your spine is.
yep, yep. It
That's the
activates the
activation.
opposite. It activates the parasympathetic part of your nervous system, your rest and digest, your relaxation response. Your body do have a maintenance, you know what I'm saying? It do have a way to let go of that anxiety, to release your blood so it can stay down. It's called the parasympathetic. And you do that by slow, deep, controlled breathing and meditation. You know, it changes your brain chemistry. It shuts off one of the lobes of your brain. You know, it activates and stimulates another part of your sensors in your brain. You know, everything is off of electrical impulses. Another thing that I learned in school. You know what I'm saying? We perceive stuff in through our
Right.
eyes, and but
Right.
our brain, you know what I'm saying, interprets it through our history and our perception of what we know, you know, and our sense of smell, you know what I'm saying, is the very first one to give you that. So probably a lot of people don't know that smell, you know what I'm saying, what you're gonna see first, and then you see it because you
Wow.
perceive it with your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You got afferent neurons and efferent neurons, you know what I'm saying? Motor neurons, sensory neurons, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff works, you know what I'm saying? Simple, you know, super fast. And, you know,
Yeah.
the
Right.
example I can give you is that, you know, if you walk into the room and you smell something, you already know what it is before you see it. You know,
Right.
you don't
Right.
have to go and actually look at it with your physical
Wow.
eyes to know what it is.
Wow. I was just having a conversation about scent the other day, man. That's powerful. That is powerful, and it just confirms everything. So you've taken all this information in your practicing years of yoga, and you've created something, right? You've created a business even with this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you talk about what you have, and then what are you seeking to accomplish with what you've created?
I'm seeking to teach yoga from a clinical basis. And I'm also seeking to teach our peoples or Black people that we did do yoga. Yoga was an African spiritual art, you know what I'm saying? And that's just where it's at. You know, we didn't have to be feared. We Africans, people, we looked at health, you know what I'm saying? We come from the land, you know what I'm saying? We ate fruits and vegetables. That was our lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? We hunted, we went out, you know what I'm saying? We was healthy people, and you know, that's what we did. So, you know, and to try to help change people's chemistry and get the stress, you know what I'm saying, off of their mind, and try to give them, you know what I'm saying, you know, I don't know. I'm just gonna try to, you know, hopefully they feel what I felt, you know what I'm saying, off of yoga, and, you know, get with it, get from it what I got from it, you know, and so forth. But mainly I want to be able to teach it from a clinical level, you know, to make people understand the reason why you're doing what you do, and the reason why your body feel the way that it feel. You know, get people to understand that what you eat directly affects how your body feels and how your mind thinks.
So you created, is it Divine Wellness?
Divine Wellness 71.
Okay.
Divine Wellness 71. You know, the
Okay.
71 is at 71, 17. It's the day I was born, on the 17th. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying, which is a mirror image of the reverse of who I become. You know,
Okay.
17, the mirror image of me is divine, is when I changed my life, to started becoming yoga, you know what I'm saying, started eating healthy, starting, you know what I'm saying, getting out of poverty stricken acceptance and state of mind, you know.
Yes. Yes. And where can people like come to some of your classes that you host? Where can they find you, and what are you doing here in the Kansas City area?
Yeah, you can, my website, divinewellness71.com. You can book an appointment. On right there off of 77th Prospect. It's right there off the police station, right for 75th. You know, and that's where I do classes at. I do classes at Studio 5400 there, and I do classes at Upside Bungee every Friday at noon, and which is a good spot to come do different. You know, they do bungee yoga and do all kind of stuff there. It's a fun spot to be at. So yeah, but I'm all over the place. I do private lessons. You know, I got this thing called Health and Wellness Delivery, where I come to your house or we can meet at the park or the gym, you know, to get it, you know, and I'm, you know, type of trying to give people a reason to know why they should put yoga into their lifestyle, which it should be, you know what I'm saying, just part of their lifestyle, breathing correctly, getting up, doing movements and postures, you know what I'm saying, along with working out too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
People think that if you work out and you exercise, you don't have to do yoga, which I understand because I thought the opposite. I thought because I did yoga, I didn't need to do any exercise and go do any push-ups and stuff anymore, which I still always did that, but I was biased to my yoga where I'm gonna do yoga. I don't need to go do no running. No, you need to do both because they induce different parts of your nervous system.
That's critical. That's critical.
Mhm.
That's holistic. That's the holistic approach to things, man. Man, this is great. This is great. And you talk about really introducing yoga to our people, to African people. How have you found the transition from, you mentioned the word tabooisms, you know, where even as a man doing yoga, that could be thought of as something that's effeminate, you know, starting from where you all were to where you are now. How have you seen that evolution, or have you seen an evolution take place in terms of dealing with the tabooisms of yoga?
Well, yoga is popular now. Everybody's doing yoga, you know what I'm saying? Actually, black, white, everybody's doing yoga. Black people doing yoga. They got thing, hashtag black yoga and everything and stuff. But, you know, the thing is, by me, they still doing the Indian version. They still doing the Indian history version of yoga, which is cool, which is okay, because that's what I started with. I started with Hatha
Right.
yoga, you know. And I still seem like, you know, for some reason, black people is scared to be black. You know, it's sorry to say, you know, you know, they think that you can't be black and still love other cultures at the same time, respect other cultures too at the same time too. So I feel I get some acceptance, but um, you know, believe it or not, I still got to get more white people that accept comedic yoga, you know what I'm saying, and giving it a try more than, you know what I'm saying, our people's is. I don't, you know, which is good because comedic yoga is for everybody, you know, and
Right.
my thing is to let, you know what I'm saying, the white people, other cultures that's been doing the Indian version of yoga know that there is a different history to yoga, and it goes back further than, you know, before there was Buddha, you know, it was Ptah Hotep, you know. Before there was Krishna, there was Ptah Hotep, you know. Before that,
Right.
we had, you know, we had Asar, you know, we had Aset, you know,
Yeah.
we had, you know, before it was Shiva and Shikati, it was Asar and Aset, you know, and you know, and if
Right.
you see it, it's the same stories, you know, it's just different, you know, them Shiva,
Different
Shikati,
cultural presentations
same
from the
cultural
South.
presentation. A lot of them don't know that themselves, and you know, and that's why I understand. You know, a lot of people are running from, you know, the African version of yoga. Oh, I don't want to do a pose of a star, because that represents some African god and stuff. But you doing the Indian pose, and you know, if you don't know, that represents an Indian god. And that Light on Yoga book, each and every one of them poses have an Indian god name to them and a story behind them. You know,
Right.
yeah. So you know, and that was another reason why I was okay, and I already knew coming in that people might not accept the cultural and historical fact about comedic yoga because they don't really accept the historical and cultural fact about Indian yoga. You know, it's not too many people that you see doing yoga to say that they're Buddhists or Hinduists. They just doing the
Right.
movements and postures and doing the exercises
Right.
and stuff.
And
So,
that's powerful you say that, because that was another element of the tabooisms that I had wrote down in my notes, is on the pagan demonic associations that people have with yoga, new age or whatever you want to call it. But when you deal with the science of it, again, right, and just understanding how culture works, and that cultures have to make references, culture has to identify something in order to capture the idea that's being conveyed, correct? And
right.
so when you're dealing with these postures and the deities or the gods that are associated with it, it's the principle that's really being conveyed more than the deity itself,
Or
right?
the deity itself, because I'm not biased, and my teacher either said it himself. He made it. He was way advanced. You don't have to be. I ain't forcing nobody. You don't have to use the Kemetic words. You don't have to use the Kemetic. You can use your own words. Just use the scientific.
Right.
We talking about health for the body. Use your health
Right.
for the body. Understand that this pose of Asar is just not representing the god of Asar. It's a standing spinal twist, and it takes your mind to a transcendent state that represents what it said that deity was. And so forth. So you can leave all that out. Put your own
Right.
God right there in place. Say you Jesus. If that's the way you feel, that's my point. So because that stuff is personal to me. I got out of people's religion and trying to go, that's personal. You keep that personal.
Right.
If I show you this disposable SAR when we in class, when you get home, change it to something else and make you comfortable.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Understand the principle of it. That's
Understand the
powerful.
principle of it. Yeah.
That is powerful, man. Now, posture, just kind of, coming back to the science of it. Posture, I know, so that's something I got to stay mindful of myself. I just found myself getting myself together because I'm kind of sitting here. But posture in yoga is like pretty much everything, correct?
Yes, everything. It's all about alignment of the spine. So your posture is off and down because your spine is not aligned correctly, or something is off. So it's
Right.
all about alignment of the spine. And that was the other thing that I had loved about Kemetic yoga. It was based on best practice and quality control. His style and the way that he done things was very scientific.
Mhm.
So, it's a lot of moving parts to Kemetic yoga. You got the yoga
Right.
skills method, what I'm saying, which is now currently just Kemetic yoga skills. And you got Kemetic yoga, with the yoga skills method is basic yoga movements and postures that in the sequence that is done in a way to align the human body from bottom to the top. And me just graduating from a degree in human biology, I understood what he was doing, what I'm saying, from that perspective, and it was very close to how I had modified my yoga throughout the many times. It was very close to what it was that he already had going. So I didn't have to, play pieces into a puzzle and add the extra stuff on that he had taught.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of confirmation. That was the thing with Kemetic yoga, and learning from somebody that had been doing yoga longer than me and just as much and was just as passionate about it as me, and more importantly, that had looked like me, you know, was, what I'm saying, the triple plus. So I was able to, what I'm saying, take things in and accept them on a different level, if you know what I mean.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Um, there was one thing I wanted to talk about too that it kind of coincides with it, but you mentioned it earlier in terms of energy healing and energy work. How are the chakras? How are the chakras? I heard people call them chakras. I've heard them chakras.
Mhm.
How have you found your energy with chakra work, particularly through yoga, to impact you?
Mhm.
And what impact do chakras have on human physiology,
Mhm.
just overall? Because a lot of people, like, I know religious people, I've dealt with some religious people, like, that's demonic again, you don't want to
Mhm.
deal with opening your third eye, because you don't know what's going to come with that. But scientifically speaking, right, dealing with clinical aspects of emotionalism, of overcoming fear, of attachments and things like that. Can you expound on that some and what the chakras really are to be used for? As we're getting kind of close to this hour, but you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is something I definitely wanted to touch on.
Well, that was, the chakras. I never really dealt with too much myself in the practice because I was just on. No, I wasn't on it. I was on the breath, and I was on trying to get the rhythm of my breath. And then, ironically, when I ran into Kemetic yoga, as he taught that, the ancient Kemet, we didn't deal with the chakra. Chakra just means energy wheel. What I'm saying? An energy wheel. And then when you learn about human biology, you notice that all those areas that they call chakras are near what we call plexuses in your body, which is where nerve endings are bunched up to be able to send electrical impulses out through your body. And that's where these things are at, or near endocrine glands, certain glands. Your body have glands that secrete things into your blood, you know what I'm saying? And these chakras are located near these glands and stuff like that. We know some of them, you know what I'm saying, is very, you know, the root chakra is your anal, you know what I'm saying? We already know what the anal holds for. It's for elimination of your feces from your body. Then you got your navel, that's for your birth. That's where your umbilical cord is coming from. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your solar plexus, that's your gut. They say your second brain is in your gut, you know what I'm saying? You got your digestive system, your pancreas, your organs, all these things going through in there. Then you got your heart chakra, the self-explanatory. We already know what the heart does, you know what I'm saying? Then you got throat chakra, which throat chakra is really the thyroid. What's important about your throat is your thyroid gland. It regulates the calcium in your body, which helps your blood and your bones and stuff stay strong. It helps regulate that stuff. That's why you want to keep your throat. And you have a lot of glands in your throat, you know what I'm saying, in the lymphatic glands and stuff like that, that cleans toxins out of your body and out of your blood. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your third eye chakra, you know what I'm saying, with everybody pineal gland was actually up there was your pituitary gland is what's up front. Your pineal gland is rotated towards the back of your head. Your pituitary is up front. The pituitary gland regulates hormones in your body. So the hormones regulate your emotions. So people will just regulate and they scared of their chakras, or they scared they sometimes coordinate demonic and this and that with their own emotion, with their own defeats. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was saying back to yoga makes you mentally strong. It makes you fight them two demons on your shoulders, you know, to make you not be scared to go off into yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most person you're scared of in this world is yourself.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like Bob
That's
Marley
wild.
said, you can run away, but you can't run away from yourself.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Wow.
So in ancient Kemet, you know, you see you only see them dealing with two main chakras. You see them dealing with the crown chakra and the snake coming out the middle of the head, the third eye, pituitary chakra, because the whole goal is to draw that energy up into the crown chakra, into the third eye chakra, to open up the intuition, I see the wisdom, you know what I'm saying? So that was later on. So to concentrate on them old chakras, that means that's fine if you want to, you know what I'm saying, do that, but you got to go up anyway. So why stop
Right.
yourself?
That's saying.
If you understand what I'm trying to say, you
No
know what I'm
doubt.
saying? So, but people are real, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, when you know human biology and scientifically wise, you understand that the things that they call chakras, chakra means an energy wheel, you know what I'm saying? And they're near glands in your body, and near plexuses in your body. And these plexuses
Right.
hold nerve endings and nerve systems that send impulses for your arms and stuff to move, your legs to move, and to do so forth. So
Right.
that was the thing, you know.
No
Yeah.
doubt. And I truly appreciate this, man, because what you're doing is you're demystifying this spiritual practice and really showing the practical elements and aspects and applications of this particular
Mhm.
exercise or this lifestyle. Rather, it's a lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I commend you for that, man, and find that this is really beneficial. And I hope, I definitely start, those who are interested in yoga,
Right.
to come to you, man, because the way you've explained this, and I've seen, your social media, and it's impeccable, man. I'm just looking at one picture now that I use for your flyer. I mean, your posture is clean, it's clean, and that's what you want, even when it comes to Tai Chi, you want clean form, you want clean posture. That's so rich. That's so
Clean
rich.
posture. Yeah, but I appreciate it. That's what people know. This stuff is scientifically based, and they do have the research to prove it. They know fear activates the stress response. They know the stress response raises your blood pressure. They know that it causes heart attacks and stroke. They know that having your heart and your chest always, you know what I'm saying, racing fast, you know what I'm saying, messes up the glands where your body can't secrete, and it blocks off, you know what I'm saying, certain acids in your blood to be released in order to get those chemicals, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing, because the stress response is meant to for fight or flight, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Right.
So, I'm not, don't get think that it's a bad thing, but it's a
Right.
thing that you don't long periods of adrenaline, because what we're talking about is adrenaline. long periods or elevated periods of adrenaline causes high blood pressure. And the cycle goes on down from there. That's just all you need to know.
Right. Deep. What would you tell someone who's just wanting to delve into a journey of yoga? What would you share with them as we were getting close to this hour? What wisdom would you share?
Do it in your own time. Let yoga come to you. You know, yoga come to you. Because like I tell, yoga is the thing that once you start, you don't never stop. Because the thing is, what some people don't realize how their body is supposed to feel. Let me say that. And when you start doing yoga, when you start eating right, start eating differently, you start thinking differently, and then you start feeling stuff in your body, you be like, what the hell? I didn't know I wasn't supposed to feel that pain in my back getting up. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to feel my knees aching. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to feel my calves. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't know my shoulders wasn't supposed to be tight like this.
Right, touching your ears.
Yeah, you begin to, and these things you don't notice because the body is designed to move. The movement is good for your health.
Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So if somebody wanted to book a session, you did mention divinewellness71.com. Is that the website?
Yeah, that's the website. You can email me, divinewellness71@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, you can send me a text message, 816-969-9146.
9146.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you say you're currently at Studio 54, you're at Outside Bungee, and off of 75th and Prospect. Is that what's the name?
It's the Tulsa building. It's called the Tulsa building.
Okay.
Yep. It's right there, right down the street from the police station. You can book a private session. Our best thing going is a group session, a couple session, or then I got the health and wellness delivery. I got the stress management classes where it's different from the yoga classes. It talks more along the line of the clinical and scientific basis of stress and how to, what you eat and stuff like that, and your diet and stuff. Because when you're dealing with stress, you're dealing with more than just doing movements and postures. You ain't gonna be able to just get down and do. You should, if you're stressed out, you ain't gonna be able to get down and do. You ain't gonna want to do nothing but sit there and eat, stuff your face with stuff that make you feel good. So you gotta start working on doing energy work. You know what I'm saying? That type stuff. That's where Tai Chi come in. That you can start doing slow moving meditations and stuff like that. And we got this form in Comedic Yoga called Mayaka that I think is just absolutely beautiful. It's like it's like a blend of yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong in one. And I teach that in the stress management course. And so
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Just reach out whenever you're ready in time. You want to feel good, come experience it for yourself. Tell me how you feel afterwards. That's all I can say.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So do get in contact with brother Daryl McDonald, Divine Wellness 71. This has been a powerful session, man. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight, your wisdom. Definitely, this has been very powerful, man. Insightful for me as well. And
thank you too, man. I appreciate it. And I know you're not no slouch yourself with them poems and stuff you be getting out. Them ones is great. They spoken word. Yeah. Yes, I see you haven't stopped doing your thing. You still been going. So I'll make sure I come out to the next venue you at.
For sure.
Yeah.
We definitely have to link up, man, because Tai Chi is something that's in my wheelhouse. I've been doing it for several years as well, man.
Yeah. I know. I had saw you doing it a couple of times when you sent me. I had saw you. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, we get together.
Yeah, man.
Together we can do some stuff.
Definitely. So that's what's up, man. This has been powerful. I want to thank you again for coming on. Thank all the listeners today for tuning in. Here with Divine Wellness 71, Daryl McDonald. This is Shifting Paradigms here on KUAW. We'll be back in about 2 weeks, and we will continue our powerful show. We have a sister coming up next time. She goes by She Royale, and we'll be definitely discussing some things that relates to what she has going on. This is B. Michael. We had again, brother Daryl McDonald on with Divine Wellness. We're going to sign off for the night. Thanks again, my brother. Peace and power to all my listeners. Have a good evening. Have a good week. Peace and power. All right now. We good, Baba G?